Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world right now. I'm Greg Spin, your host of the Say What's on Your Mind podcast. And on this episode, we're talking about the prison industrial complex globally. Can you imagine a world without prisons? Well, check this out.
Abolitionist groups and individuals from 6 continents are here to cover everything from immigration detention to state repression, from domestic violence to prisoner resistance. The organisers of this conference say they want to build a world in which detention, policing and punishment are replaced with better systems of accountability and transformative justice. But is this really possible? And what could it even look like?
Abolition means a completely new way of doing stuff.
I'm here at Abolitionist Futures to learn from other people and also to help me strengthen and understand a little bit more by what it means to kind of claim a abolitionist future.
Abolition to me means to challenge and to dismantle and to abolish, to get rid of the relations and the institutions we are embedded in, which are structured by violence. And abolitionism to me means to challenge this order, to dismantle this order, and to replace this order.
For me, the prison system acts as like a symbol for basically everything that we're doing wrong in society. It's a symbol of like every other social issue. So from housing to mental health to domestic violence to racism to capitalism to all of these different things.
Abolition is not only about getting rid of something, but to build something new, to build alternatives, built on care and love instead of violence and punishment.
It's also about finding hopes of people who work alike, think alike. And that's the reason I'm here.
How do we go about it? Loads of people have got loads of different ideas and are doing loads of stuff. So stopping the expansion in terms of building new prisons, but then also there's the things that we can start to do in our daily lives to become transformative. You can see the police hassling someone of colour doing stop and search, and you can go and inform someone of their rights. You can go and intervene and let people know what they're entitled to and what their rights are. And those are really actually transformative things that we can start to do to resist the criminal justice system as it is.
I think this is the biggest issue that we face, is having a programme that makes sense to people to the extent that they can see that prison actually isn't just something that's always been there in a logical way of treating people.
Some people think, how we will do without prison? And come on, you're doing that every day. If your children are, doing something wrong in your house, you do not call the cops. You know how to deal with problems without relying on the penal system. So we need to trust our knowledge. We have lots of experience in that, and we need to rely on that.
I do think what could make the movement now stronger, as I perceive it being based in Europe, is to tie or to build more transnational ties, because the systems of oppression and the systems of securitization and of punishment, they don't stop at the border, right? They are transnationally organized. So I think, and that's why I hope also here that we will learn also to build beyond the borders in our heads. Yeah, and leave no one behind, build intersectional.
I think what's important is to see the vibrance of the younger generation, who are our future, who we need to pass the baton on to, because I may not see justice in my lifetime, but we must never give up hope.
With the prospect of a Labour government on the horizon, the left is thinking big right now. We're thinking nationalisation, universal basic income, and full automation. Why then do so many on the left continue to treat the criminal justice system as some kind of timeless inevitability and uncritically support the police and the prison system? With over 90,000 people currently held in the UK's detention and prison system, it's time for the left to reckon with the damage wreaked by the criminal justice system in people's lives and in society as a whole. An abolitionist movement is growing, based on finding new ways of preventing harm and instilling accountability without making people disposable. If the left really wants to transform society, We need to start taking abolition seriously.
We have citizens globally saying what's on their minds about the prison industrial complex and some solutions, There are plans. But we'll come back with a civil rights activist. You might know her. She goes by the name of Angela Davis, and she's been active for decades. We'll hear what she has to say about it after this. All right, now let's hear from longtime civil rights activist Angela Davis.
The prison industrial complex. And as you probably know, 1 out of every 100 adults in the U.S. is behind bars. 1 out of every 31 adults in the United States of America is in some way under the control of the criminal justice system. And this certainly is a legacy of slavery. As I've said many times, the very fact that the death penalty continues to be used as an ordinary mode of punishment. Troy Davis was assassinated by the state last, to use the language that many abolitionists use, last fall. However, when one asks the question, why is the U.S., which is considered to be the largest industrial democracy in the world, why does it continue to use the death penalty, which is an outmoded punishment? And the answer can only be found in the fact that it received a new lease on life during slavery. As a matter of fact, when the prison was introduced around the time of the American Revolution, it was introduced as an alternative to capital punishment and corporal punishment. And in fact, capital punishment was primarily abolished for white people for almost all crimes with the exception of murder. However, under slave law, it continued to be used for a whole range of offenses. So my argument is that the fact that the death penalty still continues to be used can only be explained by the extent to which it is the inheritor of the punishments of slavery. And that's just one example. The whole criminal justice system, the whole prison system. If one goes into any prison in the U.S. and one sees the overwhelming number of Black people, Black men especially behind bars. Michelle Alexander, who recently wrote a book called The New Jim Crow, points out that there are more Black men in prison and on probation and parole than there were enslaved in 1850. There are more Black men under the constraints of the criminal justice system today than there were actually enslaved. So this I think is the most dramatic example of the extent to which the legacy of slavery is very much alive. And then when one looks at the way in which immigrants from the former colonies are treated in countries in Europe, certainly we can't say that we have completely moved beyond colonialism. The whole notion of post-colonialism, of course, this is an era in the aftermath of colonialism, but it still retains so many of the structural effects, and especially the racism associated with colonialism.
Thank Thank you, Angela Davis. Decades of work and still active. We'll come back with breaking school to prison pipelines. Hang on. Welcome back. On this last segment, what's happening with our schools, and is it a pipeline to prison? Listen to this.
The school to prison pipeline is an illness. It's something that makes people believe that our children are criminals. It makes them believe that they're incompetent. It makes them believe that they can't do anything in life and that they are only going to become criminals at some point. And that's false.
What we want to do is raise awareness about a phenomenon known as the school to prison pipeline. We believe that this issue is the civil rights issue of the 21st century, because what we're seeing happening is that young people are going into the school system for an education, and they're winding up being funneled into the juvenile justice system, the adult criminal justice system. Sometimes they're suspended, expelled, or administratively transferred, which we feel hinders their right to a decent education.
There has to be a better way to provide consequences for our youth when they make mistakes. We know they're going to make mistakes. We did it back in our day. So we have to find ways to help them learn from it, to grow, and to still feel good about themselves in the process.
Today we had 4 recommendations. One is we're phasing out of all SROs, security resource officers, out of all schools. Number 2 is no out of school suspension for nonviolent behavioral charges.
Well, everyone, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Say What's on Your Mind podcast. I'm Greg Spin, and we sure appreciate you listening. Please tell a friend and share this podcast with everyone you know so we can get this great information out to as many people as possible. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Say What's on Your Mind podcast. Have a great one.